All right. Hi, class. Today we're going to be looking at lesson two. This time you're going to open up Premiere Pro from your Launchpad. Your Launchpad, it's at the bottom of your screen. Um, Mine happens to be over here on the side. But once you click Launchpad, you get to see all your different programs that you have. And applications. We're going to choose this one, Adobe Premiere Pro 2022. Hopefully everyone's is updated. It might look a little different if you don't have 2022. If you have it from the year before or 2020, it may look a little bit different, but everything still functions the same. So just read a little bit closer. It should have everything in there that you need. Okay, so when you open Premiere Pro, we are going to first make sure that we are in the Home tab over here. So we're gonna make sure we're in Home. Here you have all your recent projects that you have opened before. Um, but today I'm going to show you first how to create a new project. Your new project is going to always start in the top left corner here where it says New Project. It's the one in blue. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Project. When we're in our new project, this new layout may look a little confusing for some. That's because it's brand new. But in fact, it actually is not quite different like we've had it in previous years. Over here at the very top, where it says project name, you are by default have an untitled project. We're going to, just for this video, call it first project. Put your first and last name. Okay, so this is the most important part of our Adobe Premiere is make sure you have your title, make sure your first name and your last name. That is key. Second most important thing is you need to have a location for your projects. Now, when we go over here, it'll show you by default where it's going to save it. Here it's going to save it in our desktop. We have several different locations. I bet yours is probably this one, where it will save it to your documents, and then Adobe, and then Premiere Pro. So there's several different places that you can save it. If you want to, we can go over here to choose location. Now, this is entirely your choice. We can save it inside the Adobe Premiere. We can save it on our desktop. However, there are many students that are using your computer and your desktop like you are. So probably I would go over to your documents instead. I would go over to documents. Um, make sure when you choose it, click choose over here in the blue button. All right, and it'll give you a destination here. It says your name and then choose documents. Please always remember where you saved your media and your documents. Here is a lot of projects and footage, videos that you can go ahead and work with. That's one of the great things about some of these planning and tutorials is that we have plenty of videos for us to work with. Here's some import settings. We're going to create a new sequence. Here's a sequence name is sequence 01. As we have seen in the previous lesson 1, a sequence goes in our timeline. So it's always important to start off by making a new sequence. Right now, sequence 01 is going to be good. So we're going to go ahead and choose Create over here in the bottom right. All right. Just like we saw in our lesson 1, here we have our most important panels. We are here first in our project panel. This is our source panel right above it. Our program panel. We have our timeline, our tools, and finally our audio mixer here. If we want to know why we have this layout, it's quite simple, because at the very top over here, we are in Edit workspace right here. We are in Edit. If we go over here to Windows, and we want to look at the type of workspace we have selected, we have the editing workspace. This is by default. And this is good because we are always wanting to make sure we are in an editing workspace. This one is very simple, very clean. If something ever happens, let's say your timeline is gone, or your audio mixer is gone, or your project panel is gone, you can always reset your workspace by going over here, reset to save layout. I'm going to click on this, and it will go back to normal over here to your reset workspace here in the monitor. All right, now over here we can start to import our media. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this. All right. There's several Creative Cloud files that we could choose from. Let's see if I have some. Okay, so when I go to my media browser over here, there's several different tabs at the very top here. We have libraries, media browser, and our project panel here. If I don't have any videos or pictures or audio to put in here, I can go to over here to this tab called Media Browser. And Media Browser has its own folder here of footage. I'm going to double click with my mouse. And I have several different videos to choose from over here. So if I want to take a look at this video, I can double click. When I double click on this, you will have a few different options. You can scrub and move it along here in your project panel, take a look at what the video would look like. Or here in, of course, in the source panel, you can push play and see what each of the videos look like. So I'm going to go ahead and push. This was only 8 seconds long. Let me double click on this one. Push play. All right. So this is what the source panel does. It allows us to see our videos that we have. When we go to our project panel, we are going to be needing to do a sequence here for our timeline. To create a sequence, we're going to go here to the bottom right. We have a few different icons. We have one that's called New Bin and one called New Item. Eventually, we will learn about a new bin, but here we're going to look at new item. Going to click it, and we have the option of making a new sequence. I'm going to click on this. There are many different ways and presets when we are making our videos. So many different kinds from so many different kinds of cameras. We're just going to choose the one that's by default DSLR 1080p30. We have DSLR cameras in the studio, so we're just going to choose this one by default. I don't have the name of a sequence in my mind yet. I could call this my first sequence. I want to always try to come up with a name. Click OK. All right, now I have my first sequence. You'll see here that we can tell it's a sequence because in the bottom right, there is a blue icon here, and this is a sequence. Now our timeline has the toggles here for the videos and audio tracks over here. Now, if I go back to my media browser, and I want to add this video to my timeline after I've looked at it, I'm going to click and hold the video, and I'm going to drag it over here to my timeline. Some of the clips may match your sequence settings, some of them may not. So if you want to change it to the one you created, click on Change the Sequence Settings. If you want to keep it to how it originally has, click on the blue one. I'm going to click on the left one to change it. Okay. Now we have our first clip on our timeline. And in order for us to take a look at how more about the clip, we're going to use some of the different sliders here in our timeline to take a look at the video clip and the audio clip much bigger. All right, first thing over here in our timeline, at the bottom where these circles are, they can go left or right. If we go to the right, they become much smaller, our video clips and audio clips. However, if we go all the way and push it to the left, we can see our video clips and audio clips much larger. We can see the time and the seconds here in our timeline. Then we have another slider here for the video. If I pull the circle here at the bottom and pull it up, we can see our video clip thumbnail here. It makes it easier for us to see. And if I pull this one down, we can see the audio for one a lot better. There is not much audio in this clip. However, if I want to see what the video looks like, you can drag the slider along over here and see what it looks like. Move it around. Push play here in the program because the program will play whatever is here on the timeline. And it will stop where the end of the video is. Now I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because I want to add this other clip over here. This one seems like a nice long clip since it shows me 7 seconds. So I'm going to go and click on this and drag it over here on the timeline. Now when I move the slider and I push play, The two videos are side by side now. And that is it so far. This is the basic that we have of the different panels. We'll take a look at another lesson on the tools panel, the audio panel, but for now we'll just explore the four most important panels. Again, this is our project panel, our source panel, our timeline, and our program panel. All of these you can read over here in the top left. So here is this program, here is the source, project, and this is your timeline. Okay. Next, before we move on, because something we need to learn this for lesson 2, we are going to save our work by going here to the top of our Premiere Pro. We're going to go here to File, and we're going to click Save. We're going to click Save. And that is it. We have saved our work. It is going to be saved into the project we created and the location we chose. When you click on the red button X, we are finished with Premiere Pro. Thank you.